Ancient rituals such as the Barf Chal ceremony in Mazandaran province, Iran, have been practiced for centuries, where men collect snow in the mountains in spring for summer water needs, promoting unity among villagers. The Armenian people on the Iranian plateau have a deep history, with the Armenian Apostolic Church playing a central role in their culture. Armenian churches in Iran, like the Church of Thaddeus, hold significance. Zoroastrians near Yazd also have a sacred space called Chak Chak or Sobs where annual gatherings take place, offering a place for reconciliation and celebration. The history of ancient rituals in Iran dates back to more than hundreds to thousands of years ago. However, to this day, these rituals are still held in various parts of Iran, as wars and political and social upheavals have not allowed the ancient Iranian traditions to be forgotten. One of the ancient Iranian rituals that continues to be practiced in the Mazandaran province, particularly in a region called Arbask, is known as Barf Chal, which translates to snow storage. Arbask is located in the Lijan district. This ritual has been celebrated from ancient times to the present day. Typically, during the spring season in April to May, men venture into the surrounding mountains of Arbask. They collect the remaining snow that hasn't melted and carry it towards a valley. In this valley, they accumulate the collected snow. This ceremony is conducted as a group activity and is a traditional custom. During these gatherings, any animosity or grievances among the people are often resolved, and a sense of cooperation and unity among the villagers is strengthened. But why do they store these snow accumulations? The people of this village have always faced water scarcity during the summer season and couldn't make use of the water sources they had during the winter because there were no springs or water sources in the area. The region is mountainous, and they couldn't transport water to their highlands. That's why they store this water to use it for agricultural purposes or for their livestock during the summer season. One day, a traveler named Hassan Vali arrives in the village. He is very familiar with this mountainous region and knows it well. He talks to the people and asks about their problems. The villagers explain that their issue is finding a place where they can dig a pit to store the winter rice. Hassan Vali lifts his staff and points to a location, telling them to go there and comfortably dig a pit. He advises the people and tells them that they should do this work collectively every year. If people from neighboring villages join, they should welcome them. Additionally, he urges them to set aside any animosity and grudges, and instead, show respect to one another. Since then, this tradition has continued, and the villagers collectively perform this task every year. Usually, tourists also visit the village to witness this ceremony up close. These tourists are welcomed in the village, and they are offered milk, honey, cheese, and butter. They have breakfast together, celebrating the act of storing water, and then sacrifice a sheep in gratitude. Everyone gathers around, shares a meal, and extends hospitality to one another. However, women are not allowed to participate in this ceremony. This is not disrespecting women, but it is believed that if a woman were to attend, unfortunate events would befall her until the next year. The women of Arbask have found a unique way to assert their rights. One day before the community gathering, they convene for a meeting. In this meeting, they determine who will be the ruler of the region for the following year. These women hold a formal title called Zan Shahi, women rule. In this tradition, they select a day, and on that day, all the men from the village are required to leave the village, leaving it entirely in the hands of the women. Any men who are sick or have physical difficulties preventing them from leaving the village are exempt, but they must promise not to look out of windows or balconies. This is because, on this day, women let go of their scarves, dress in beautiful clothing, and engage in celebrations, dancing, parties, sweet treats, and conversations without the presence of men. At the end of the night, men are allowed to enter the village. Towards the end of the night, young girls visit the homes of the elder women in the village. The elder women advise these young girls to continue the tradition of Zanshahi and keep it alive in the region, just like their ancestors did. When the men return to the village, there is no special welcoming for them according to the existing customs and traditions. They simply enter their homes, and the following day, life in the village resumes its normal course. One of the ancient and major ethnic groups on the Iranian plateau is the Armenian people. Armenians trace their origins back to the Armenian highlands and are believed to have ancestral ties to Indian and European ethnic groups. It is said that these groups migrated to western regions and eventually settled in the Armenian highlands, forming the region of Armenia. The presence of Armenians in the Armenian highlands has an ancient history. As for the adoption of Christianity by Armenians, it is historically significant. In the year 302 AD, during the reign of Tiridates III, a renowned saint named Saint Gregory entered the court of the Armenian kingdom. Saint Gregory was able to convert Tiridates III to Christianity. When Tiridates converted to Christianity, other nobles also embraced the religion, and subsequently, the entire population of Armenia gradually converted to Christianity. This event is considered a pivotal moment in Armenian history and marks Armenia as one of the first countries in the world to officially adopt Christianity as the state religion. The Armenian Apostolic Church, one of the oldest Christian denominations, has a rich history and plays a central role in the cultural and religious life of the Armenian people. It is worth mentioning that the structure of the Armenian churches is specific to Armenians, and by no means should the Armenian churches be considered part of the Catholic churches or affiliated with the Vatican. Armenian churches in Iran are dedicated to the followers of the Gregorian faith. Armenians have numerous churches, especially in Tehran, Isfahan, and Azerbaijan. However, the Church of Thaddeus, famously known as the Qara Kelisa, is located in a village of the same name in the Marku county of West Azerbaijan province. Some believe that the Church of Thaddeus is the world's oldest Christian church. Furthermore, there is a very beautiful story hidden behind the scenes of this church. Many believe that around 40 years after the birth of Christ, one of the disciples of Jesus named Thaddeus entered western Azerbaijan and later traveled to the Armenian region, where he began to promote Christianity. He was successful in this endeavor and managed to convert various groups of Armenian people to Christianity. Even the king of Armenia at that time, Sarnaruk, became a Christian. He also had a daughter named Sundokt. Sundokt eventually converted to Christianity, but after some time, Sarnaruk renounced Christianity and declared it forbidden, stating that no one should believe in this religion. However, he was not successful in this regard, as the people of Armenia, including his daughter, remained steadfast in their Christian faith. Ultimately, Sarnaruk issued an order that anyone who refused to renounce Christianity should be killed. He ordered the execution of Christians, and among those killed were Thaddeus and his daughter Sundokt. Years passed, and the story of Sarnaruk and the death of his daughter Sundokt was passed down through generations among the Armenian people. Finally, in the year 302 AD, Tiridates III embraced the Christian faith. In honor of keeping the memory of these martyrs, he ordered the construction of churches and the burial of these individuals in areas around the Aras River. One of the churches that was built for this purpose was the Qara Kelisa. Qara Kelisa serves as the summer meeting place for Armenians in Iran and sometimes for Armenians from Armenia as well. They gather together during June and July, on Saturdays, to perform their religious rituals and commemorate these events. In the east of Yazd, there is a desert and arid region. In this area, there are sand dunes and scorching hot sands, and the sun shines directly. At the end of this region, there is a mountain. However, the story of this mountain is very different from the surrounding desert area. Near this mountain, there is a lush green area, and at the top of the mountain, the air is cooler. Inside the mountain, there is a crevice, and there, a small chamber and a cave are located. Inside the chamber, the air is very cool, and there is a rock from which drops are dripping, and its exact source is not clear. The presence of this water has made the surroundings of this mountain lush, in contrast to the desert environment around it. This chamber and this mountain are a sacred place for Zoroastrians. The story goes back to the time of the Arab conquest of Iran, during the reign of Yazdgerd III as the king of Iran. Yazdgerd realized that, with the Arab invasion of Iran, the country had fallen out of control. He attempted to save his sons from the Arabs to ensure the survival of his lineage. He ordered his sons to go to a region that is now the city of Yazd. At that time, the city had no name, and it is believed that the name of the city was derived from the name of Yazdgerd III. Yazdgerd III ordered the construction of strong towers and fortifications around the city of Yazd and the creation of powerful fortresses to prevent the enemy from accessing that area and to ensure the safety of his sons. Yazdgerd III had two sons named Hormozan and Ardeshir. He also had 5 daughters named Shahbanu, Pazbanu, Mehrbanu, Neekbanu, and Nazbanu. His wife's name was Katayun, and he had a servant named Arid. After suffering defeat from the Muslims, Yazdgerd III fled to Khorasan, but he was betrayed and killed there by millers. When the news of Yazdgerd's death spread, his sons bid farewell to each other and left the city. They knew that this area was no longer safe for them, and it was likely that the Arabs would come after them. They separated from each other and each fled to a specific region. The elder sons of Yazdgerd, Hormozan, and Shahbanu were captured by the Arabs, taken to Arabia, and enslaved as servants and maids. Pazbanu and Mehrbanu went northwest of Yazd. These two parted ways somewhere near Arjanan. Mehrbanu sought refuge in Akhta and, due to a lack of sufficient food and exhaustion from the journey, passed away. Mehrbanu was buried in a garden in Akhta, which is now known as Mayor's Place, and the people of that area consider it a sacred place, lighting candles in her memory. Pazbanu fled to the northeast of Yazd and found herself lost in a desert. She also realized that the Arabs had tracked her and were closing in. While fleeing, Pazbanu came across a mountain and realized that there was neither a way forward nor a way back. Facing the mountain, she sighed and said to the mountain, "Oh, mountain, embrace me like a mother and save me from the hands of my enemies." At that moment, a crevice appeared in the mountain, and Pazbanu entered it and then disappeared from view. The Arabs who had entered the area could not find Pazbanu, and her purity was preserved. This mountain has gained fame as Chak Chak, meaning drops, or perched. Many believe that the drops that trickle from within the mountain are the tears of Pazbanu, who is said to still be alive and leaving a legacy for future generations. Every year, from June 14th to June 18th, this place hosts tourists. However, on other days and months of the year, only the caretaker of the place guards the site, and occasionally, a few traveling families who arrive in the morning and leave in the evening may stay here. Zoroastrians from India also visit this place annually. During these 4 days, Zoroastrians come together, meet each other, and engage in conversations. They also use this time to reconcile if there are any conflicts among them, and they make new friends. The young people often sprinkle the holy water on each other. They usually pour water on acquaintances, but it's been observed that they also sprinkle water on strangers, such as tourists. In general, celebrations have been a part of the history of any civilization, and this holds true for all nations and tribes that have inhabited a land. Not only in Iran, but also in countries like Greece, ancient celebrations existed. In the Avesta, the word for celebration is Yazn or Yazna, and in Pahlavi, it is Yazshan. All of these terms indicate a form of worship and devotion. The reason for ancient celebrations was indeed to engage in festivities and purification as a way to express gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon the people by the divine. Through these celebrations, people rejoiced and praised the gods in a joyful manner for these blessings. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like it, and share it with your friends. Do not hesitate to provide your view regarding this video by putting your comments below. Your comments would help us to improve our work, and also, they help us to take your views into account for the future topics that we select. Furthermore, you can subscribe to our channel to become aware of our new videos.